Thank you. As per the NCRT, these are the values. All right. So we just started with surface tension. In fact, okay. Okay, I think I just maybe dictated this page out, you know. So यहाँ पे, this page doesn't really fully explain surface tension, but it just tells you why the surface behaves differently. Okay. So, excuse me. The basic idea is, the bulk of the liquid has different force as a uniform distribution of forces around it, because the molecules are distributed uniformly about any molecule inside the liquid. So the net force on a molecule inside the liquid, you'll expect that to be zero, and you'll expect the distribution to be very uniform. You don't expect the distribution to be uniform for the molecules of a surface. Okay, and then that's why so HCV says, therefore the surface behaves very differently than the molecules inside the liquid, because there is a different medium on the other side, there's a different medium on this side, so it behaves very differently as compared to the molecules inside the liquid. That's well said. That's okay. That's fair enough. But ultimately, we can explain surface tension by just looking at these forces, the forces along the liquid, and we'll in a way see kaisa aa raha hai surface tension. But I want you to remember this. Okay, based on practical observations, you can always say the surface of a liquid is always in a state of tension, and it can be imagined to behave like a stretched rubber sheet. Okay, so let me demonstrate that. I dictated this last time. The surface of a liquid is in a state of tension, can be imagined to behave like a stretched rubber sheet. Can be imagined to behave like a stretched rubber sheet. Let's have a look at a few examples and understand that. Let's consider the example where you see a mosquito standing or sitting on the surface of a liquid. How is the mosquito how is the mosquito not sinking? So first and foremost, you may think, is the mosquito flying? But then you can look closely that it's not really flapping its wings. So it's not flying. Then you may think, Achha, my voice is breaking. Is it breaking for everyone? Check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, everyone is saying no. Then the one who said my voice is breaking, one more said yes. But majority are saying no. So फिर just एक बार देख लो यार तुम्हारे end पे कुछ. If you can switch to a more stable network, maybe that would solve the issue. Yeah, I hope it stops breaking for you. Okay, now it's okay, fine. So mosquito stands on the surface of a liquid. Now this mosquito, so we know it's not flying. We know it's at rest. One may think that the mosquito is floating. But in fact, that is also not the truth. For the mosquito to float, it needs to be submerged. It needs to be submerged. But that doesn't happen. The mosquito does not get wet. Yes, this is the first page of today's class. The mosquito does not get wet. The wings of the mosquito doesn't get wet. In fact, the mosquito doesn't really even penetrate the surface of the liquid. So ये buoyancy के कारण float नहीं कर रहा है. Buoyancy requires the mosquito to be submerged. You will find when you zoom in that the mosquito is already submerged. No part of the mosquito is underwater. ये पैर सब बाहर है. Everything is outside water. So it is not submerged, and therefore it is not being held in its place by buoyancy. Then how is it being held in its place? It's being held in its place. इसमें waves की बात नहीं है. It's being held in its place like you are held in your place when you sit on a trampoline. If you sit, the trampoline, right? The thing that the stretched, it's a trampoline is like a stretched elastic sheet that people jump on and play on. So when you sit on it, why don't you fall? Gravity is pulling you down. Why don't you fall? तो क्या हो जाएगा? वो trampoline ऐसा deform हो जाएगा, और trampoline deform होके it's going to get stretched. Now any stretched sheet does not like getting stretched further. So when you start stretching a trampoline like this, what it's going to do is it's going to try to pull this portion. ये नीचे जाने के कारण trampoline sheet stretched हो रहा है ना, so it's going to undo that. It's going to try to pull this portion up. Okay? and therefore है ना you don't continue falling. एक point के बाद है ना the trampoline in a way holds you. So there's a slight depression, but उसके बाद somehow the trampoline's force is balancing your weight. वैसे ही हो रहा है mosquito के लिए. Okay, so your liquid surface you'll find is in a state of tension. The molecules are at some separation. They do not like that separation to change. When the mosquito sits, the separation between the molecules is increasing. एक stretch आ रहा है. The molecules want to go back to that ideal intermolecular distance. So what they do, they try to again come closer to each other. And much like how a trampoline is going to pull anyone sitting on it upwards, how a trampoline is going to balance the weight of a person sitting on it, वैसा ही this stretched surface, this surface of any liquid or the surface of water in this case, like a trampoline, will balance the weight of the mosquito. So if necessary, please visualize surface tension in that manner. Visualize it like the surface of a trampoline. And yes, one of you saying, sir, but water does not stretch like a trampoline. It actually does. It does stretch like a trampoline. वो बस है ना हम molecular level पे देख नहीं पा रहे हैं. We don't have the eyes to see that it's getting stretched, but it does stretch. Okay. Now, can humans float on water like this? The answer is no. It's almost like, can an elephant go and sit on a child's trampoline? Or will the trampoline break? Will the will the sheet rupture, get punctured when the elephant tries to sit on a child's trampoline? Well, of course, it'll rupture. Similarly, पानी का surface trampoline की तरह है, but ये बहुत ही weak trampoline की तरह है. मतलब mosquito, dust particle, ऐसे objects को वो अपने है ना हल्के से. It's not about hydrophobic. It's about light objects. There is a threshold. There's a limit to how much this can get stretched. For a man to sit on it, it will get stretched by a lot and then it'll suddenly puncture. So that's why when we try to go on the surface of a liquid, we try to sit on the surface of a liquid, we will immediately puncture the layer. And if we float, we'll only float because of buoyancy. If we float, we will only float because of buoyancy. Okay. Yeah. If you stretch this beyond the limit, it will give away. Okay. So if you put something heavy, it's going to try and if you put something heavy, it's going to try and what do you say? Put something heavy, it's going to try and balance the weight. But if the object is too heavy, it will get stretched more and more. एक point के बाद है ना फटेगा, and then that's it. You will fall. Okay. Can a cockroach do have? मतलब कर सकते हैं. It depends. एक weight के बाद मुश्किल है, but हो सकता है. Cockroach can also float in this manner. Yes, Vaishnav, that could be the reason. Not entirely sure. If anything somehow manages to float without really penetrating the surface of the liquid, they are floating because of surface tension. Okay. Let me give some more examples. Okay. So one of you is saying, sir, won't the mosquito be covered in water? Like when we touch a drop with a stick, the drop covers the tip. So there are certain materials. Okay, here is where some of you were using the word hydrophobic and hydrophilic. So here's where maybe the affinity to water even comes in place. Like for instance, if there are certain substances which are strongly attracted to water molecules, even if they are light, जैसे ही तुम उसको पानी के अंदर डालोगे, उसको पानी इतना पसंद है कि वो पानी उसको हर साइड से कवर कर लेगा, वो गिरेगा. So probably those objects, hydrophilic objects which like water, maybe they may not float because they'll immediately get submerged by water. Water will surround them. But yeah, I mean, in hydrophobic objects, maybe there's something in the mosquito's feet which does not really attract water around it. तो हो सकता है ऐसे केस में, हाँ, you'll float. Just let me give you one more example. So consider a needle. If you place a needle, an iron needle like this, if you place it quite carefully, you will find that you can make. Guys, your definition of surface tension last time किया था. You may have to leave some. It's uploaded on Drive, page 22. अगर देखना है तो, ठीक है? Yeah, towards the end of class, मुझे वापस देखना तो दिखा दूंगा. For now, just maybe leave some space. Okay. All right. एक मिनट, एक सेकंड. Rudraj, rho v d by eta, diameter by eta. Okay. Different books will write different things. Errorless maybe has errors. Just always cross check with your NCERT for anything. Okay. So यहाँ पे coming back to this example, when you take a steel or a steel needle, you'll find that also floats in the surface of a liquid, and that should not make sense, because iron is heavier than water, is more dense than water. Iron should not be floating on water. But if you'll find if you place the needle very carefully, ये side view है, ये front view है, if you place it very carefully, formula of surface tension आगे आएगा. If you place it very carefully, you'll find the needle does not sink. Why? Again, trampoline effect. Trampoline effect. Okay, so it's light enough. Its weight is distributed across its length. So the kind of pressure it's applying on the surface of our trampoline is very less, and therefore it manages to just float. On the other hand, same needle, ऐसा अगर place करोगे, all of a sudden the entire weight of the needle is going to apply a pressure concentrated at this point. So that's going to be a large pressure. So when you place it in this manner, what is going to happen is the needle is going to pierce the sheet. The needle is going to pierce the sheet or the surface of our liquid and is going to get submerged, and then it will sink. Why will it sink? Because it's denser than our liquid. So that's another practical example of surface tension. Okay, you place an iron object like this carefully, you may find that it doesn't sink, but the minute you place it in a different orientation where it ends up piercing the surface and entering, where the pressure at the point of contact is too large, our surface cannot hold it and it will pierce the surface, and then it will float or sink depending on what buoyancy tells us. In this case, iron है, तो we know it will एक बार pierce करेगा surface को, continue करके sink करेगा. So you can maybe try some of these examples at home as well. All right, formula for surface tension is on the next page. Hydrophilics. So we are not in physics, we're not really going to use the words hydrophilic, hydrophobic. I just entertained it because one of you used, but you are going to in a while see which you're going to see that glass is strongly attracted to water, and you will see that glass is not strongly attracted to mercury. So that is one example you'll see. But otherwise, we are not going to deal too much with those. Okay. Let me know if you're done copying this. One of you saying, can we stand in a very thick viscous liquid? I mean, again, this is a different property. Surface tension is a different property than viscosity, but nonetheless, I don't think ऐसा कुछ कोई liquid exist करता है जिसमें a human being can stand. कोई भी liquid ले लो, threshold तो कम ही रहता है. Human being stand उतना threshold नहीं है. No, I think even if we stand on mercury, we'll pierce Mercury, and we may float because of densities, density difference, but otherwise, density alag baat hai. Please understand, surface tension is not incorporating density into the picture. Okay, surface tension is not incorporating density into the picture. Please understand that. Surface tension is before density ka game comes in. Only after you pierce the sheet and you go in, the buoyancy, Archimedes' principle, depends on ratio of the densities. Okay, that comes after you pierce the surface. Okay. Somebody is saying we have done this page. I kind of doubt this. I don't think we have done this page. किया है क्या ये page? नहीं ना? Okay, चलो. तो यहाँ पे देखो, यहाँ पे formula देखो अब surface tension का. तो what I'm going to do is, this is, let's say this is the top view of some liquid. This is maybe the liquid in some kind of cylindrical vessel like a bucket or a glass. Okay, ये liquid है. और फिर this purple line that I've drawn, the purple line, that is an imaginary line. Okay, that's just an imaginary line that I've drawn. You have a little imagination, imagine a line on the surface of our liquid. So let's say the length of that imaginary line is L. Now that line is going to, is going to have a few molecules of the liquid surface on the right hand side, and it will have a few molecules of the liquid surface on the left hand side. These molecules are going to attract each other. Okay, they are in a state of tension. It's like a stretch sheet. It's already like a stretch sheet. So they're going to attract each other. Okay. So as they attract each other, what is going to happen is this molecule is pulled, this molecule is pulled, this molecule is pulled. All these molecules are going to get pulled towards the molecules on the other side. So the molecules towards the left of the line are pulling the molecules towards the right of the line towards itself. Let capital F be the net force with which the liquids on either side of the line, let capital F be the net force with which the liquids on either side of the line pull the liquid on the other side towards itself. All right, so let F be the net force with which the liquids on either side of the line pull that on the other side towards themselves. So let F be the force with which the left hand side wala liquid pulls the right hand side wala liquid towards itself. And action reaction, that's also the force with which the right hand side molecules pull the left hand side molecules to itself. Now that force, if you think about it, that force is the addition of all these forces. Shouldn't that force depend on the length of the line? Because मैं जितना लंबा line लूंगा उतना molecules appear होगा game में. Okay. One of you saying, why are the molecules attracted towards each other? Because they are beyond their ideal intermolecular distance. Okay, and molecules in general attract each other. It's only when you take them so close that they are almost, you're trying to place one on top of the other, you're trying to make one invade the other molecule space, that's when they start repelling. In general, molecules attract each other. तो ठीक है, यहाँ पे क्या किया है, वापस देखो, सिंपल सी बात है यार, एक लाइन, इमेजिनरी लाइन ड्रॉ किया, इमेजिनरी लाइन ड्रॉ किया, molecules on either side are attracting molecules on the other side towards itself. ठीक है, attraction always keeps taking place. ठीक है, तो intermolecular attractive forces की वजह से they are attracting molecules on the other side towards itself. इन सारे molecules पे जो force लग रहा है ये वाले molecules के कारण, वो net force को मैंने F बोल दिया, capital F. My assertion is capital F is proportional to the length. Why is it proportional to the length? Because मैं जितना लंबा line लूंगा उतने molecules game में आ जाएंगे. If I double the length, I am talking about twice as many molecules. So I have to add up the forces for twice as many molecules. So does that make sense? Double length लेने force भी double हो जाएगा. Because फिर 3 molecule के लिए add करने का जगह 6 molecule के लिए add कर रहे हैं, है ना? So force is found to be proportional to length. Force is proportional to length. Force is along the surface. ये surface के along है ना. This is a sheet. Imagine this is like a stretched trampoline. तो ये surface के along, ठीक है, along, tangential to the surface. These molecules, liquid on one side is pulled by the liquid on the other side with a force proportional to length. ठीक है. So जितना लंबा लाइन लोगे उतना ज्यादा force you will encounter the liquid on one side of the line applying on the liquid on the other side of the line. Okay, that force is proportional to length. That constant of proportionality is what we call as surface tension. So with this, I'm going to define the proper definition for surface tension on the next page. Now this is the definition which actually is going to help us with the formula and is going to make sense to us. So this is where surface tension comes in. Force is proportional to length. But what else should force be dependent on? Should also somehow depend on the material. है ना? We don't need to know कैसा किस material का किसका ज़्यादा किसका कम. That is not our game. है ना? This is not chemistry over here. But we are expected to at least know कि it should depend on the material. So force is proportional to length. Force is some constant to length, and this is going to be some constant which is going to depend on the material we are concerned with. Okay. Direction of F is towards. Direction of F here is going to be along the surface. ये मेरा surface है. Surface पे एक line draw किया, है ना? तो ये liquid एक तरफ है, एक दूसरा liquid दूसरी तरफ है. F is going to be along the surface. Along the surface. Okay. So direction and all detail may I'll talk about on the next page. Here I'm just introducing the idea. Okay. The direction is going to be along that surface, and in fact it's going to be perpendicular to this line. ठीक है, the next page में एक बार देख लेते हैं, फिर उसमें समझ में आएगा. इसमें लास्ट टाइम कुछ नहीं किया है, मैंने बस बोला है कि यार ये मॉलिक्यूल्स तो एक दूसरे को अपने तरफ खींच रहे हैं. तो ये लाइन के एक तरफ जो मॉलिक्यूल्स है वो लाइन के दूसरे तरफ जो मॉलिक्यूल्स है उसको अपने तरफ खींचने वाले हैं. They're going to attract the molecules on the other side towards itself. Okay, let that force be F. Let the net force be F. Okay, and these forces are all along the surface. So if this is the surface of a liquid, it's going to be horizontal. These forces are all horizontal along the surface. Okay. We just argued कि F is proportional to length because जितना लंबा लाइन लेंगे उतने molecules का interaction दिखेगा, तो उतना ज़्यादा force होगा. Force is proportional to length. Force is surface tension into length. Okay. तो अब definition आ जाएगा surface tension का. Okay. Now let's put everything together. So what is the definition of surface tension? Surface tension is first of all represented by the symbol S or T. Okay, you can take your pick. I'm going to go with S because let's keep T for tension. So let S be for surface tension. But some books will use T as well. Now it's defined as the force per unit length. Okay, F is SL, S is F by L. So it's the force per unit length with which the surface of a liquid on one side, the surface of the liquid on one side of an imaginary line pulls the surface of the liquid on the other side towards itself. Simple सी बात है. कोई भी liquid का surface ले लो, imaginary line देख लो, the liquid on one side is going to pull the liquid on the other side towards itself. With what force is it going to pull? F. And what is that force per unit length of the line? S. Okay. Now this force is always tangential to the surface. ये हमेशा surface के along होगा. because we are talking about forces between molecules on the surface. So उनका भी interaction surface के along ही होगा. This force is always tangential to the surface and is going to be taken perpendicular to the line. It will be perpendicular to the line. Okay. So that is your surface tension का definition. SI units, you can clearly see SI unit of surface tension is Newton by meter. Okay. तो at the end यार ये बहुत ही simple formula है. Surface tension के कारण force चाहिए ना, तो बस surface tension into length कर लो और मिल गया force. Okay. अब यहाँ पे एक question try कर लो, just a direct application of that. Imagine that I have a U frame. U frame is just this frame which looks like a U. Okay, so that's a U frame. So imagine I have this kind of frame like this. और यहाँ पे क्या किया मैंने, इस frame को मैंने एक soap, यहाँ पे एक movable mass rod है, massless rod है. This rod is free to move. Okay? It can slide up and down. But यहाँ पे मैंने क्या किया, यहाँ पे मैंने surface tension, एक soap solution बीच में, I just dipped this in a soap solution. And you just found that the soap solution ended up taking the space between the U frame and this movable massless rod. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे ऊपर soap solution है ना? Like when you dip when you blow bubbles, you dip a circular loop in a soap solution, you pull it out, and the soap solution fills the loop. Whereas the soap solution has filled this loop. अब यहाँ पे ये massless rod से, this is free to move. You hang a mass. An object of mass m from this surface. So rod का length L है, you're hanging an object of mass m, and my question is, I'm telling you कि this system is in equilibrium. मतलब m नीचे जा नहीं रहा है. अगर m नीचे जा नहीं रहा है, m का mass कितना होना चाहिए? Gravity नीचे खींचेगा, surface tension ऊपर खींचेगा. So just try to carefully apply. You may get this wrong, but still, just try to carefully think and apply what should be m so that the system is in equilibrium, so that surface tension and weight somehow balance out. Okay. All right. So a lot of you are saying SL by G, and I have no problem with that answer. I mean, that's it's good. It's good that you're saying SL by G. So you've at least, in a way understood to use this formula. And all those saying SL by G, that's okay. That's fair enough. The answer is wrong because of a small trick which everyone will naturally get wrong the first time. But I'm glad to see you have at least used surface tension the right way. So there's a small problem. Okay. And now this is very interesting. The problem is, weight of the liquid is immaterial. सोचो weight of the liquid से क्या फर्क पड़ रहा है? Because मेरा system ये है. हम ये system को देखेंगे और इस system पे दो ही force है. एक है gravity, दूसरा है कुछ तो surface tension. तो gravity और surface tension balance करना है. I don't care about the weight of this liquid. Okay. The point is, this soap solution that you take will actually have two surfaces. This is going to look like the side view of that soap solution. What is that soap solution going to be like? Isn't it going to be like a glass slab? यहाँ पे air है. फिर suddenly as you pass through the frame, soap आ गया. तो air to soap एक surface इधर आ गया. फिर वापस सोप से वापस सोप से बाहर निकलते वक्त वापस जब एयर में जाओगे तब दूसरा सरफेस आएगा. So can you see that in reality there are two surfaces? One is an interface between air and soap, and then you have an interface between soap and air. Can you see that there are actually two surfaces? When we talk about, वापस देखो, वापस ये मैंने है ना, ये जो फ्रेम था मेरा, उसका मैं साइड व्यू यहाँ से साइड से देख रहा हूँ, ऐसा मैंने क्रॉस सेक्शन लिया, कट करके लिया क्रॉस सेक्शन. तो ये क्या दिखेगा मुझे इन दिस क्रॉस सेक्शन? तो मुझे यहाँ पे फ्रेम का टॉप दिखेगा, यहाँ पे माई रॉड एंड माई मास दिखेगा, और बीच में सोप सोल्यूशन दिखेगा. डू यू अग्री द सोप सोल्यूशन विल लुक लाइक दिस? इधर एयर, बीच में सोप, ऐसे ही दिखेगा, है ना? तो ध्यान से देखोगे तो सरफेस कितने हैं? टॉप पे एयर कैसे आया? टॉप पे एयर थोड़ी है भाई, ये मेरा यू फ्रेम है. दिस इज द फ्रेम. This is the frame. Can you now visualize where this has come from? ये जो मेरा डायग्राम था, okay, I'm cutting this. I'm taking this cross section, जो मैं ग्रे से हाईलाइट कर रहा हूँ ना, वो क्रॉस सेक्शन देख रहा हूँ. देखा ना, ऊपर वो पर्पल फ्रेम आएगा, बीच में वो पिंक सोप आएगा, और फिर नीचे येलो रॉड एंड मास आ जाएगा. ओके, सो आई एम लुकिंग एट दैट साइड व्यू, और पॉइंट क्या एस्टैब्लिश कर रहा हूँ कि साइड से देख के तुम्हें तुरंत समझ में आएगा कि देयर वर एक्चुअली टू सर्फेसेस. ओके, शिवांक, I'll come to that. ठीक है, there were actually two. Let's just hold on to that. There were two surfaces. There is this surface exposed to the air over here, and there's this other surface exposed to the air. सामने से देखने में एक आगे वाला surface था, एक पीछे वाला surface था, दो surface थे. Liquid is always going to apply a force along its surface. Surface tension is a surface phenomena. It's not the bulk of the liquid which pulls, it's the surface which pulls. Okay, now some of you are saying, sir, what about the surface over here? Fair enough, that surface in contact with the rod, usme bhi surface tension lega, but that is not capable of pulling in this direction. That is only capable of applying a force in this plane should it need to. That is not something which is going to attempt to cancel out weight. Which is the surface tension which is going to attempt to cancel out weight? It's these two surfaces which are going to get stretched as the mass goes down. Okay? As the mass goes down, these surfaces are going to get stretched. Because they're going to get stretched, okay, as they get stretched, they are going to continue to apply the surface tension force. The formula is very simple. कोई भी scenario में वो force इतना ही लगाता है, surface tension into length लगाता है. The force does not change. Okay, this is experimentally observed. It applies constant force, surface tension into length. So the length of the rod was L, surface tension was S. यहाँ पे SL force लग गया, यहाँ पे SL force लग गया. Net upward force वहां से 2SL हो गया, और इसका weight नीचे की तरफ mg हो गया. Okay, and m is therefore going to be 2SL by m is going to be 2SL by g. Okay, one of you is saying I am considering thickness of the liquid, hence two surfaces. I think irrespective of, so surface is like a very small, surface is a very small layer. Few, I mean very small layer जिसका width बहुत छोटा होता है. तो however thin you may take a surface, if you know कि एक तरफ, however thin you may take any liquid, अगर इधर एयर है, इधर एयर है, तो यहाँ पे ये सर दो इंटरफेस आएगा ही आएगा, है ना? It's like if you were solving a question on optics, wouldn't you consider refraction over here and refraction over here? Because twice the medium changes. वैसे ही there are two surfaces, ठीक है? And surfaces are important. कोई पूछ रहा है top surface, fair enough, उधर भी surface tension रह सकता है, but what is that going to do to this guy? है ना? None of these surfaces are going to, ये वाला surface and ये वाला surface matter नहीं करेगा. क्योंकि उनके अलोंग जो फोर्स है वो वर्टिकल डायरेक्शन में आ ही नहीं सकता है. Now, if somebody is asking, sir, is this pulling the U frame down? Yes, it is pulling the U frame down. The soap solution is going to try to pull the U frame down. So maybe you will need to hold that frame in its place. Okay. Let me show किसी को थोड़ा अगर कंफ्यूजन हो रहा है वापस ये डायग्राम देखो. ये डायग्राम में ना ये तुम्हें सामने सरफेस दिख रहा है ना, इसके पीछे भी एक सरफेस होगा, बैक साइड पे भी सरफेस होगा, बिकॉज दिस इज लाइक अ स्लैब. तो आगे सरफेस है. इमेजिन योर, है ना, इमेजिन यू हैव टू पास थ्रू दिस. इमेजिन यू आर अ स्मॉल एंट व्हिच वांट्स टू गो थ्रू दिस, यू गो थ्रू दिस सोप. तो पहले फर्स्ट यू और मे बी यू आर अ मस्कीटो, फर्स्ट यू आर इन एयर, यू विल एंटर द सोप सॉल्यूशन and then you'll again come out into air. So how many surfaces are there while going from air to soap? That's one surface. While going from soap to air, that's another surface. Okay, this is not a vessel, this is not a glass, this is just the frame. This is just the frame, this is just a एक rod लिया है और लकड़ी को लेके ऐसा bend किया है. It's a frame. This is what we call as a U frame. U-shaped alphabet जैसा है वो, उल्टा रखा है मैंने बस. Okay. अब clear है. Somebody asked me to explain this again. Did you get what's going on? कैसे इसके ऊपर अब आगे वाले सरफेस पे तो सोप सॉल्यूशन कैसे आया? हैव यू एवर ब्लोड बबल्स? हैव यू टेकन बबल? कैसे ब्लो करते हो? एक सर्कुलर लूप रहता है, ठीक है, तुम इसको एक हाँ लिक्विड में डिप करते हो, ऐसा आ जाता है ना बीच में बबल, और रहता है वो खुश हैप्पीली उधर बैठता है. वही हो रहा है. तो वैसे ये यू फ्रेम को ऐसा डिप किया है. एंड सो दिस इज ओके, दिस इज हाँ, आई थिंक नाउ यू गाइस अंडरस्टूड व्हाट्स गोइंग ऑन. तो एक आगे वाले सरफेस के कारण सरफेस टेंशन इनटू एल. Why did you take L of L length of the rod here? So I told you L is the length of the rod. मैं rod और M को सिस्टम ले रहा हूँ, एंड सोप सोल्यूशन का वेट इग्नोर कर लो, ज्यादा कुछ है नहीं, ठीक है. रॉड और M को सिस्टम ले रहा हूँ. इस पे फोर्स कितना लगेगा? surface tension into इसका length. So the force experienced by L length of the rod, by the entire rod, is going to be surface tension into L. But this is going to be the force by the front surface. अब पीछे भी एक surface है, तो वो भी SL का force लगाएगा. तो एक आगे से SL लगेगा, पीछे से SL लग के net force ऊपर की तरफ 2SL का लगेगा. Is that now clear? M is going to be 2SL is going to be mg, and therefore M is going to be 2SL by g. Is that now clear? Okay. Let me just see if there were any other doubts I didn't answer. Weight of soap solution is in material. Ignore that. एक यार ये लास्ट टाइम समझा देता हूँ. When you go to blow a bubble, okay, if there's a circular loop, you dip it in a soap solution. When you bring it out, do you agree, for the person who didn't understand, do you agree you see something like this? You see the soap solution fill that loop, okay? Then imagine you're a fly who's trying to fly through the soap solution. So how many surfaces will you encounter? While entering the soap solution, you will cross from air to soap. And while exiting the soap solution, you'll cross from soap to air. Air to soap, soap to air. दो surface होता है. हाँ? It's like a glass slab. Glass slab has two surfaces. दो refraction करते हैं. वो दोनों surface, like a waterfall. Yeah, fair enough. Waterfall के दो, एक आगे surface है, पीछे surface. The length, the height of the soap solution will not matter. It's found कि है ना, ये force constant रहता है. मतलब सिर्फ ये rod का length और surface tension पे depend करता है. It actually doesn't depend on how stretched or how big or how small the surface is. These are things ultimately found experimentally. Deven, I mean, those are not relevant to this, and I'm not the. You can Google those things. Okay, I'm not the best one to answer that. Okay, now there are some leaves which do not get wet. Leaves that again that has a property of so that is all chemistry at the molecular level. If some leaves don't get wet, they are maybe coated with some kind of hydrophobic substance which keeps water away. So some kind of waxy substance or artificial substances like silicone, they are all hydrophobic, so they keep water away. So leaves, maybe they have some kind of waxy substance which keeps water away. That's not really surface tension, that's just chemistry. That's chemistry. Molecular level पे chemistry है. Okay. अब यहाँ पे imagine कि we take a loop of thread. Imagine that we take a loop of thread and we know कि if I take a loop of thread क्या होता है? रस्सी जो एक loop के फॉर्म में बना हुआ है, ठीक है? उस रस्सी को तुमने ऐसा पानी में फेंका, ऐसा फेंक दिया, ऐसा गिर गया, ठीक है? ऐसा अजीब सा शेप में ऐसा गिर गया वो. अब जब ये ऐसा अजीब सा शेप में गिरेगा, ये वैसा का वैसा ही रहेगा. क्यों वैसा का वैसा रहेगा? बिकॉज जितना उस पे बार के कोई भी एक छोटा सा लेंथ एलिमेंट लोगे ना, तो जितना बार के तरफ वो लेंथ एलिमेंट पे फोर्स लग रहा है, उतना ही अंदर की तरफ भी फोर्स लग रहा है. बाहर और अंदर के, what do I mean by outside and inside? When I throw this loop, when I throw this loop of thread, the loop of thread now divides the surface of my liquid into two parts. There's a part outside and there's a part inside. Okay, so it's divided into two parts. And both parts are equally, I mean, they're exerting equal forces on any small length element you take. You'll take a small length element dx, इस पे s dx लगेगा, उस और उधर से भी s dx लगेगा. So it's pulled inside and outside with the same force. Therefore, that length element does not move. And तुम जैसा रस्सी को फेंकोगे वैसा का वैसा ही रहेगा. ऐसा अजीब सा शेप में गिर गया तो वैसा ही रहेगा. It's not going to change its shape. It's going to, है ना, जैसा गिर गया वैसा ही thread रहेगा. But if the inner surface is punctured with a needle, you take a needle and you poke this surface. You poke this surface. If you puncture the inner surface, just like you are puncturing maybe a bubble, है ना? Bubble को puncture करते फुट जाता है ना? So वैसे, if you puncture the inner surface, you'll not see anything burst if it's water, but actually molecular level पे that surface will burst the minute you puncture it. It's like a rubber sheet, like a rubber balloon. Balloon को puncture करोगे, balloon फुटेगा. Trampoline को puncture करोगे, फुटेगा. है? वैसे ही, the minute you puncture this inner surface with a needle, it burst. Your eyes may not see it, but it will burst. But the effect can be seen. Surface tension will not be available. The surface will not be able to apply any surface tension वाला force. अगर अंदर वाले surface को puncture करोगे, तो उसके कारण जो surface tension वाला force होगा, वो गायब हो जाएगा. अगर वो गायब हो गया, then if this force disappears, the inward pulling force disappears, and only the rope is pulled outward, it's going to take on a circular shape. The rope is only pulled outward, it's going to end up taking up a circular shape. Yeah? So this is another practical example of surface tension, which you can try out. You can take a glass of water, throw in a thread, loop of thread, okay? And just try to puncture the surface uh, inside the thread. You find it gets stretched out. Okay. Copy this. I have a follow-up homework question on this. In the meanwhile, I'm just reading one of it out. Sir, if you place a very thin wire loop on a bubble and then burst inside the loop, bubble, ये पानी था, ठीक है? ये actually just to clarify, what was this? This was the top surface of a glass of water or a bucket of water. Okay? This is the top surface of a glass. ऊपर से है ना, नहाते वक्त नीचे बकेट पे देखोगे तो क्या दिखता है ना, वो है ये। तुम एक्चुअली बबल पे थ्रेड कैसे डाल दोगे, मुझे उतना समझ में नहीं आ रहा है बबल पे. But if you indeed end up doing something which causes the bubble to get divided into two parts, somehow, then if you burst one, the other won't get affected. That's it. Okay. Can I explain the circular shape formation? Absolutely. तो क्या है actually ना, ये अंदर वाला surface भी खींच रहा है, बाहर वाला surface भी खींच रहा है, इसलिए रस्सी जैसा गिरता है वैसा का वैसा ही रहता है. रस्सी जैसा गिरता है वैसा का वैसा ही रहता है. अगर तुम अंदर वाले surface को पंक्चर करोगे तो उसका surface tension वाला force गायब हो जाएगा. So then this rope is only experiencing outward forces. The rope is only experiencing outward forces. It is only experiencing outward forces as you pull, pull on all these elements. You'll naturally end up forming a circle. You pull on all the elements, ultimately you'll end up forming a circle. And कोई बोल रहा है if you burst outside the loop, absolutely. बार burst करोगे तो उल्टा हो जाएगा. अगर बार burst करते थे, ये वाला burst करोगे, then this force disappears. And then it's sucked inward. It's sucked. It gets sucked inward. It will shrink. It will shrink. कुछ अजीब सा शेप होगी, मतलब ऐसा shrink हो जाएगा, like a point जैसे बनने की कोशिश करेगा. And कोई बोल रहा है can a mosquito stand on a punctured surface? The answer is no. It's just like, we can't stand on a broken trampoline. वैसा ही हो गया. Once the surface is punctured, nothing can sit on it. Okay. So is the reason I mean, these are again standard examples of surface tension. The reason I'm giving you this question is because I want you to attempt at home a very important question related to that. And that is this. Given the inner surface has been punctured, अब ये एक सर्कल बन गया. सर्कल जब बन गया और ये बार की तरफ खींचा जा रहा है, you'll find that this thread is in a state of tension. It's being pulled outward from all sides. So this thread is actually in a state of tension. And I can ask you to find the tension in that string. I can ask you to find the tension in that string given surface tension and the radius of the thread. I'm not sure if you're going to need radius, but let's just say I'm giving it for now. Given these values, you can find the tension in it. That's your homework question. Now, if you have no idea how to do this question, that's probably because you do not know a very standard example from circular motion. So if you don't know how to do this, please refer to circular motion ka HCV ka solved example 12 and mark that example and study that example and remember that example, because what that example is, it's actually you rotate a ring. And because you rotate the ring experiences, every particle of the ring experiences a centrifugal force outward. And because of that outward force, the ring is in a state of tension. And HCV is showing you how you can find that tension. Very important example. Why is it important? Because that question can be converted to a question from a lot of other chapters. जैसे इस क्वेश्चन में आउटवर्ड एक यूनिफॉर्म आउटवर्ड फोर्स सेंट्रीफ्यूगल फोर्स की जगह इधर मैंने सरफेस टेंशन वाला फोर्स दे दिया, और कोई चैप्टर में इलेक्ट्रिक फोर्स होगा, और कोई चैप्टर में मैग्नेटिक फोर्स होगा. Okay, so that becomes, you can create a question on that, on this example type for a lot of other chapters. So please remember this standard example. Okay. No samay they can't. Yeah, if a mosquito tries to stand on a surface that has already been punctured, then it will fall. So just note down this question. Why is detergent linked with surface tension? Again, मतलब यार ये सब मतलब बहुत chemistry हो गया. You naturally, if you put in some foreign molecules, the behavior of that surface is going to change. So as you make water a soap solution, its behavior is going to change. Does surface tension increase or decrease? It's not something we can comment. That ultimately goes down to chemistry. Will a ruptured surface get restored with time? It will get restored with time. Maybe it will take some time. Okay, लिखे. Yeah, we'll finish the chapter before your TWT. But we need to move a little faster, and we need 2 lectures a week. So that's something that needs to change quickly. Okay. Surface energy. Okay, jaldi se dekho. Surface energy. Okay, now let's be quick. So surface energy क्या होता है? So let's say कि this is that same U frame as before. Okay, look at that U frame, and let's say that has the liquid, and you know the story. You know that liquid applies a force of 2SL. You know the length of the rod is L. You know the soap solution ka surface tension is S. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to move the rod slowly. Slowly का मतलब क्या होता है? जहाँ पे भी ये पढ़ोगे slowly मतलब velocity 0 and acceleration 0. ठीक है, रॉड को धीरे से मूव करना है. अगर एक्सेलरेशन 0 होगा तो रॉड पे फोर्स 0 होना पड़ेगा, नेट फोर्स 0 होना पड़ेगा. मतलब मुझे रॉड को कितने फोर्स से खींचना पड़ेगा? सिंपल आंसर इज, अगर लिक्विड उसे पीछे 2SL से खींचता है, हमें उसे आगे 2SL से ही खींचना पड़ेगा. So if I'm going to move the rod slowly, okay, if I'm going to move the rod slowly, I will have to pull with this force, a force of magnitude 2SL. Ignore the gray part for now. I'll come to this gray part later. I'll have to pull with a force of magnitude 2SL. Now, let's say the rod gets displaced by an amount X. Let's say the rod gets displaced by an amount X. So while it gets displaced by an amount X, the work done by that force is going to be integral F dot ds, but the force is constant. So it's simply going to be force dot displacement. The force भी आगे की तरफ, displacement भी आगे की तरफ, work done by the force during this displacement is simply Fx या 2SLX, because the force is constant. We know all of this. तो यहाँ पे मैंने बस work done लिखा है. Okay. This is also, तुम जितना work करोगे, that is also the work done. अब अच्छा ऐसा देख लो. Now what would be the work done by surface tension in this process? वो भी clearly दिख रहा है. Surface tension के कारण force 2SL है पर and वो left की तरफ है, पर displacement X right की तरफ है. So the work done by your surface tension during this process is minus 2SL into X. Is there any doubt till here? Work done by the force was 2SLX. Work done by surface tension is minus 2SLX. No doubt. One of you saying, sir, if the rod moves, the length of the bubble changes, so the force should change. No, please understand that this L is dependent on the length of the rod. It's not dependent on the size of the bubble. So surface tension doesn't change. The surface tension ka force doesn't change with, you know, how stretched or how less stretched the liquid is. It doesn't change with that. Okay, it's this rod ka length is constant, surface tension is constant, force constant ही रहेगा. यहाँ तक कोई doubt नहीं है. Okay. फिर work done by this force, work done by this internal conservative force is negative of the corresponding potential energy. So we're now going to define a potential energy corresponding to this surface tension wala force. The way we have defined a potential energy corresponding to the tension in a spring, वैसे ही we are defining potential energy corresponding to our surface tension wala force. How is potential energy defined? It's negative of the work done by the internal conservative force. You can look around, since all the other surfaces are not moving, है ना, surface tension और कोई भी surface पे work नहीं कर रहा है, बस ये वाला जो इस rod पे लग रहा है, because rod move हो रहा है, सिर्फ वहां पे work हो रहा है. So work done by surface tension is definitely minus 2SLX. That is definitely negative of the change in potential energy corresponding to surface tension. Okay, ये potential energy का definition है. If you don't remember this, you need to really revise the definition of potential energy. Now, if minus 2SLX is minus delta U due to surface tension becomes positive 2SLX. So this is my change in potential energy due to surface tension, 2SLX. But if we analyze this formula 2SLX, we can say कि अच्छा ये अगर ध्यान से देखोगे यहाँ पे, ये रॉड जब x डिस्टेंस आगे गया तो इतना पोर्शन में अब और सोप सोल्यूशन आ गया. वो एक्चुअली सोप सोल्यूशन का थिकनेस कम होके बल्क से मॉलिक्यूल्स आके ये रीजन बढ़ देता है, तो इट बिकम्स लेस थिक एंड इट स्प्रेड्स आउट मोर. बट अल्टीमेटली क्या हुआ है, सरफेस एरिया, एक्सपोज्ड सरफेस एरिया कितने से बढ़ गया. So this rectangle's area is L into X. So we know कि as the soap comes and fills up this region, there is going to be one surface towards us of area Lx, and there is going to be one surface behind this of area Lx. So my surface area increases by 2 times Lx. 2 Lx is the change in surface area. Okay, this is the change in surface area. Now look at the beauty of this. यहाँ पे 2Lx को हम लिखेंगे as change in surface area. And all of a sudden you get a very simple result, and you can, you know, in fact, even forget this derivation. What is the result now that we get? We are getting key change in potential energy is surface tension into change in area. Change in potential energy is surface tension into change in area. अब इससे we can just set a convention and define absolute potential energy. तो हम क्या करेंगे, हम बोलेंगे चलो zero area को zero potential energy बोल दो. When you come to that convention, you will end up saying कि potential energy in general is surface tension into area. Potential energy is defined as surface tension into area. क्यों? ये definition से ये satisfy होता है. जब area कुछ amount से change होगा, potential energy S times उस amount से change होगा. So this is ultimately our formula. Potential energy is surface tension into area. Naming all the terms over here, A is surface area, आगे का पीछे का total exposed surface area. Okay. S is surface tension. S is surface tension. and U is the potential energy, which we are going to call as surface energy. The U, the surface energy corresponding to surface tension is called, the potential energy corresponding to surface tension is called as surface energy. The surface energy is surface tension into surface area. Okay. Is the length 2L? Length में 2L नहीं आ रहा है. I think you mean, are you talking about area में 2 का factor? Is that what you mean? कि area में 2 का factor सिर्फ soap solution के लिए आएगा या कोई भी चीज के लिए आ सकता है? Is that what you're saying? हाँ, वो दो surfaces का presence वो depend करता है. I mean, water will not really, stay. Water may not typically stay like this. It's normally only soap solution which stays like this. So if water magically stays like this, it will have 2 surfaces and you will take 2 surfaces. But normally ऐसा है ना, एक loop में ऐसा suspend होना, ये soap solution ही करता है. Okay, यहाँ पे the 2 is coming not because of the type of the liquid. The 2 is coming because there are 2 surfaces. If water can magically do that, then again 2 will appear. But in typical scenarios, water doesn't do that. Right? Water normally is in a glass or something where there's only 1 surface. Or water is like a droplet where there's only 1 surface. Okay. लिख लिया ये सभी ने? इस पे क्वेश्चन कर लो. ठीक है, फॉर्मूला देखो. अब फॉर्मूला क्या है? You have learned a new formula for potential energy. It's just surface tension into area. S into A. S into A. ये अपना फॉर्मूला है. इससे please try this question. 2 identical water droplets, each of radius r, combine to form 1 large droplet. Find the heat released in the process. Okay. Think, 2 ड्रॉपलेट कंबाइन किया, एक बड़ा ड्रॉपलेट बन गया. वो बड़ा ड्रॉपलेट का देखो रेडियस कितना होना चाहिए. बाकी थोड़ा एनर्जी कंजर्वेशन का फंडा है. Yes, Yash. Sorry, Shivang, that's थोड़ा और carefully, मतलब और there's a little bit more that you need to do. You need to first of all see. So पहले तो फिगर आउट कि ये जो बड़ा ड्रॉपलेट बनेगा वो बड़ा ड्रॉप का क्या रेडियस होगा. I think you may have taken that as R and that's why your answer looks the way it is. बड़ा ड्रॉप का देखो ना रेडियस कुछ और होने वाला है. 2R भी नहीं होगा. थोड़ा क्यों 2R? 2 ड्रॉप है तो 2R हो गया. What concept you will apply? ये मतलब this is physics aside. If I tell you 2 drops of water combine to make 1 big drop, what should be the radius of that drop? तो क्या फंडा क्या लगाओगे? क्या? हाँ, वॉल्यूम कंजर्वेशन. वॉल्यूम बराबर होता है. केदार सही है. Yes, and volume will be conserved. So try to now think carefully. Okay, um, find the radius of the bigger droplet given volume conservation. एक बार वो आ गया, ये हीट रिलीज क्यों हो रहा है? कुछ सरफेस एनर्जी चेंज हो रहा होगा, है, सरफेस एनर्जी कम हो रहा होगा. If I go from a potential energy of 10 joules to 8 joules, वो बचा हुआ amount will go in the form of heat. Okay, so if find potential energy में change. देखो surface energy कितने से कम हो रहा है. Surface energy is just S into area. To do that, you need the radius of the bigger droplet. Okay, try that and tell me the answer. Purna, your answer is correct. Zero नहीं होगा आंसर. Surface area does change. Kushal, that's the final surface energy. I wanted heat. सोचो ना, तूने तो final surface energy बता रहा है. Think what would be the answer to heat released? नहीं नहीं, अरे मतलब यार इलास्ट्रेशन देता हूँ. मेरा पोटेंशियल 10 जूल से 7 जूल गया. ठीक है. If this is my initial potential energy, this is my final potential energy. My initial potential energy will be final potential energy plus something. Where will that 3 joules go? If my potential energy is decreasing, where is that 3 joules going? कोई और फॉर्म में कन्वर्ट हो रहा है. अब इस कंटेक्स्ट में हीट में कन्वर्ट हो रहा है. So to get heat, you will need to subtract initial potential energy से you'll have to subtract the final potential energy. हाँ, केदार सही है. तन्मय लास्ट टर्म का पावर चेक कर ले. बाकी लोग डिस्कस कर लो. प्लीज एक बार रेडियस देख लो. Those who are getting it, you can solve, continue solving. Those who didn't get it, no, just एक बार रेडियस. चल वेट, चलो कर लो. कम ऑन. Yes, Tanmay, yes. Previous slide. Okay. Very simple formula. Surface tension into area. I mean, you don't even need ये तो derivation अब दिखाया so that you know where it comes from. And the derivation was just a test of the definition of potential energy. Okay. 54 pi r square. 54 क्यों आ गया? I think 5 वो 4 शायद 5 गलती से टाइप किया. Yes, 4 pi r square 2 minus 2 to the power 2 by 3. हाँ वो सही है. Is that 5 by mistake? Okay. जिनको आ रहा है ना, just continue. I think if you've got the logic, most probably you'll get the answer. So if you're getting it, continue. Those who are a little lost, for your sake, I'll just help you out. यहाँ पे क्या है? Yes, Kushal. यहाँ पे my volume is ultimately conserved. तो small spheres का volume is the same as the bigger sphere का volume. तो small spheres का volume है 2 into 4 by 3 pi r cube. because there are two spheres of radius r. बिग स्फीयर का अगर रेडियस r डैश है तो उसका वॉल्यूम है 1 into 4/3 pi r dash cube, क्योंकि ऐसा एक ही स्फीयर है. ये दो इक्वेशन से 4/3 pi काट दो, दोनों तरफ क्यूब रूट ले लो, you get r dash is 2 raised to 1/3 r. So this is a very simple way of finding, of course, the radius of the bigger sphere. Now, सोचो हीट, ऐसे क्वेश्चन में सोचना है यार, हीट कहाँ से आ रहा है, क्यों आ रहा है हीट. तो यही हो रहा होगा कि इस प्रोसेस के दौरान पोटेंशियल एनर्जी कम हो रहा होगा और बचा हुआ अमाउंट हीट में कन्वर्ट हो रहा होगा, है ना. Because there's no other energy in this question. I mean, there's nothing we can talk about with respect to kinetic energy. ये हो रहा होगा, पोटेंशियल एनर्जी कम हो रहा है और फिर हीट निकल रहा है. तो बाय दैट इक्वेशन ui माइनस uf बिकम्स हीट. तो हीट निकालने के लिए इनिशियल पोटेंशियल एनर्जी माइनस फाइनल पोटेंशियल एनर्जी निकालना पड़ेगा. You can also write this as S delta A, or you can write them individually as S. So initial potential energy is S into initial surface area. That's the formula, S into area. अब जब दो स्फीयर का एरिया was 2 times 4 pi r square. 2 times 4 pi r square. तो ये हो गया इनिशियल सरफेस एनर्जी. फाइनल सरफेस एनर्जी S into फाइनल एरिया. तो फाइनल एक ही स्फीयर है, तो 4 पाई उस स्फीयर का रेडियस का स्क्वायर. उस स्फीयर का रेडियस है 2 raised to 1/3 r, तो वो चीज का स्क्वायर. बस ये है अपना आंसर. थोड़ा रीअरेंज कर लो. S into 4 pi r square कॉमन ले लिया, तो दिस गोना you'll get 2 minus 2 raised to 2/3 into S into 4 pi r square. I think one of somebody was trying to type S and I think that S came as 5. I'm not. But ये आ गया S into 4 pi r square 2 minus 2 raised to 2/3. Okay, and when you all please understand one thing, कि a sphere, a single sphere is the shape with the least surface area. Okay, one of you is saying, why don't we consider the two surfaces of a sphere? Very interesting. बता कैसे दो surface है. कौन सा inner and outer? This is a drop. This is a droplet. This is a droplet of water. I enter the droplet. देख मीडियम कितने बार चेंज होता है. हाँ, एयर से पानी, बस एक ही सरफेस है. एंड डोंट से सर पानी से एयर, तो ये वही सरफेस है, उसी का एरिया हमने 4 pi r square किया. हाँ, I see that you're thinking of probably a hollow sphere. And hollow sphere, okay, fine. वो soap bubble में आएगा. We'll in fact that's the next topic which we'll talk about. The soap bubble में normally दो surface दिखता है. Water droplet एक ही surface दिखेगा. Okay, all right. Please, what I was saying was, please remember कि or understand कि a sphere is the surface with least surface area. A sphere is a surface with least surface area. All right. So given the chance, a system will always try to decrease its surface energy. Therefore, this liquid will always try to decrease its surface area. है ना. तो दो लिक्विड से, दो ड्रॉप से एक ड्रॉप बनना इज फेवरेबल, इसलिए एक्स्ट्रा हीट निकल रहा है प्रोसेस में. एक ड्रॉप से अपने आप दो ड्रॉप नहीं बनेगा, तो तुम्हें एनर्जी देना पड़ेगा टूटने के लिए. Because whenever you divide a droplet into more parts, you're increasing surface area. In fact, if I take an ice cube and I allow this ice cube to melt in a space station where there is zero gravity, let's say, okay, I allow the ice cube to melt in a zero gravity region, what shape will the ice cube take? Very nice. It'll become a sphere. It'll prefer the shape with least surface area. It's like a stretched sheet. Yeah, do you see a balloon naturally take on a cubical shape? No. So left to itself, it's gravity which normally forces a liquid to take the shape of the vessel. But if there's no gravity, you allow this ice cube to melt and become a liquid. it's going to take the shape of a sphere. It's not going to retain that cubical shape. Because while becoming a sphere, surface energy is the least. Okay. ये question तुम घर कर लो. Similar idea है. Okay. Droplet of radius r is to be exploded into n identical droplets. How much energy would we need? So this is the reverse process. Okay. R एक droplet of radius r को n droplets, identical droplets में break करना है. So how much energy would be needed? One of you is asking, so why does it want least surface energy? Any system always tries to decrease its potential energy. The surface energy is another word for potential energy. All systems try to decrease their potential energy. Because the direction of the internal forces are such that they try to decrease potential energy. Just consider examples. Gravitational potential energy कम होने के अटेम्प्ट में एक ऑब्जेक्ट नीचे गिरता है. एक्सटेंडेड स्प्रिंग का पोटेंशियल एनर्जी कम होने के अटेम्प्ट में स्प्रिंग एक्सटेंडेड स्प्रिंग कॉन्ट्रैक्ट होता है. योर फोर्स, द गवर्निंग, द रिस्टोरिंग फोर्सेस are always in the direction of decrease in potential energy. So they try going back to that state. Under the influence of those forces, they try going back to that state. You can, in simple words, always remember the system tries to decrease its potential energy. Class is still 8:45, right? If I'm not wrong. क्या बोल रहे हो यार? थोड़ा extend कर लेते हैं. I'll extend by 10 minutes. I just want to teach one small topic. Okay. All right. Yeah. What I said was. Oh, your first lecture was cancelled. Shit, if I would have known, I would have taken that. How much energy would be? कहाँ पे था यार मैं? I forgot only what I said. Can you remind me what I was saying that you want me to repeat? I'll repeat. I was talking about potential energy. System always tries to decrease its potential energy. Look at classic examples. Object falls down, decreasing gravitational potential energy. Spring goes back to natural length, trying to decrease its potential energy. Take any example, it'll always try to decrease its potential energy. Okay. Yeah, I'll just, with your permission, I'll take till 8:45 if you don't mind. Okay. And then we'll call it a day. So the next point I want to teach is excess pressure. I'm going to start with a droplet, excess pressure inside a droplet. And then we'll see excess pressure inside a bubble. Okay, so droplet is something else and a bubble is something else. Let's start with the droplet. So what is a droplet? So droplet looks like this, where under liquid hai, okay, and you don't get to see another surface. So there's no, it's like a solid sphere. There's no, it's not like a hollow sphere. A droplet of water or a droplet of oil has only one surface to it. Bar say you enter in and then that's it. Don't say you leave out again. That's the same surface. Okay, so you just have one surface for a droplet. You just have two media, air and the liquid. Okay. Now you'll find this droplet का अंदर जो प्रेशर है वो बाहर वाले प्रेशर से ज्यादा होगा. कैसे ज्यादा होगा वो अब प्रूव करेंगे. ठीक है, तो let's do this. Maybe let's call this P2, let's call that P1. Okay, what we're going to do is we are going to take this, जो ड्रॉपलेट का एक बाहर एक शेल होगा, एक सरफेस होगा, है ना, उस सरफेस जो लिक्विड सरफेस होगा बाहर, उस सरफेस को हम दो पार्ट में डिवाइड करेंगे. ठीक है, and we're going to take one part of that surface which I've highlighted in green, and that I'm going to take as my system. मुझे इस पे न्यूटन सेकंड लॉ लगा के कुछ कुछ करना है. So what is my system? Okay, my system is the right half of the spherical surface. Right half of the spherical surface. So ये जो एक hemispherical shell दिख रहा है green में I try to highlight that is my system. इस पे हम laws of motion लगाएंगे. So this experiences force some force due to P1. Okay, what force will it experience due to P1? Okay, the final result is very easy. एक बार प्रूव करने में हो सकता है थोड़ा दिक्कत ऐसा लगे कि थोड़ा difficult है, but let me just prove it once and for all. So if I take any area, okay, let's say I'm taking an area like this. I'm taking an area DA. Okay, taking an area DA, and what is the force that is going to act on this area? बाहर से P1 के कारण force निकाल रहे हैं. So the force that's going to act this area is going to be P1 DA. Very nice. Now vectors ka, when you have to add a lot of vectors, okay, you need to sometimes figure out the net direction. Now in this case, by symmetry, can you comment what is really going, if I add up all the pressure wale forces, what is going to be the final direction of the forces due to all of these pressures by symmetry? Very nice. Downward. Huh? Acha. Horizontal. Okay, we can talk about left or right. I think somebody was meaning center along radius. I think you all mean this. You all mean it's going to be towards the left. So my net force due to P1 is going to be towards the left. तो फिर वेक्टर में एक ट्रिक होता है कि I mean, if you know that your net force is in some direction, don't worry about the other components cancelling out. Just take the component of every vector in that direction and add up. Logical सा बात है. अगर तुम्हें पहले से पता है कि रिजल्टेंट कोई एक डायरेक्शन के अलॉन्ग होगा, तो जो वेक्टर्स को तुम ऐड करने जा रहे हो उन सारे वेक्टर्स का उसी डायरेक्शन के अलॉन्ग कंपोनेंट ले लो, बिकॉज बाकी वाला डायरेक्शन के अलॉन्ग कंपोनेंट अपने आप कैंसिल हो रहा है. We know by symmetry you're not going to get an upward or a downward force. Okay, by symmetry it's going to be a leftward force, because just to answer that, somebody said downward. जितना यहाँ पे upward है उतना वो downward है, जितना ये upward है उतना वो downward है. So as a pair by pair they'll all cancel out vertically. The net force will be towards the left. Okay, in this case. So my net force, if it's towards the left, the component of P1 dA towards left becomes P1 dA, okay, cos theta. Now let's just label theta in this. So okay, let's say this angle is theta. So zoom in कर लेता हूँ. Okay, let's say this angle is theta. So the surface makes an angle of theta with the vertical. Okay, and thereby the normal will make an angle of theta with the horizontal. You can cross check that. Theta 90 minus theta back to theta. The surface makes theta with the vertical, and the force makes theta with the horizontal. Okay. P2 is the internal pressure. कोई पूछा P2 क्या है? P2 internal pressure है. हम फिलहाल P2 को साइड में रखेंगे because P2 का भी वैसा ही डेरिवेशन आएगा जैसा P1 का आएगा. तो सिर्फ P1 के लिए मैं पहले दिखा रहा हूँ कि P1 के कारण फोर्स लगता क्या है. ओके, P1 के कारण फोर्स क्या लगता है वो दिखा रहा हूँ. P2 का सेम प्रोसीजर होगा. P1 बाहर का प्रेशर है और P2 अंदर का प्रेशर है. तो ये जल्दी से देख लो. यहाँ पे कंपोनेंट ऑफ P1 dA towards left is P1 dA cos theta. Okay. Now what you can say is this is actually P1 into dA cos theta. What does dA cos theta look like? If you look very closely, dA का जब cos theta लेने जाओगे वो उस एरिया का वर्टिकल प्रोजेक्शन देगा तुम्हें, है ना. हाँ, that will give you this perpendicular, this vertical projection of that same area. So उस एरिया का कंपोनेंट in the vertical direction is dA cos theta. Okay, this area is dA cos theta. All right, so right now the component of P1 dA towards left, towards the final direction, is P1 dA cos theta. Okay, which becomes P1 into projected area. Okay, becomes P1 into projected area of dA. Along the vertical. Okay, so this becomes projected area. इसका area का vertical component. ये हो गया component of P1 dA towards left. Okay, did not understand projected area. वापस समझा देता हूँ यार. यहाँ पे देखो ना, इसमें क्या हो रहा है. ये जो एरिया, ये जो फोर्स है, मुझे एक्चुअली ये फोर्स का हॉरिजॉन्टल कंपोनेंट ऐड करना था, बट वो फोर्स का हॉरिजॉन्टल कंपोनेंट हो गया P1 dA cos theta. ओके, एंड या गुड. अच्छा अच्छा, और फिर मैं dA cos theta को मैंने क्लब किया, तो dA cos theta हो जाएगा dA का परपेंडिकुलर कंपोनेंट. dA का कंपोनेंट, dA makes an angle theta with the vertical, तो dA का वर्टिकल कंपोनेंट. तो एक्चुअली what is dA cos theta? If I shine light from the left, तो ये dA का जो शैडो गिरेगा ना ये वर्टिकल वॉल पे, वो शैडो का एरिया इज dA cos theta. Now one simple thing, now that I have all the components, okay, now that I have all the components, how do I find my net force? Won't I find my net force by adding up all the components of P1 dA towards left, है ना? So I will end up adding up all the P1 dA components towards left. You agree? But इसमें P1 बाहर जाएगा and I'll end up adding up all the dA cos theta terms. But what is this dA cos theta term? This is actually, है ना, if I take different elements on this hemisphere, I'm going to get different projected areas. In fact, as I end up taking every element on the hemisphere का पूरा हर एलिमेंट लोगे, उसका प्रोजेक्शन, उसका शैडो लोगे वॉल पे, तो ये पूरा सर्कल मिलेगा, पूरा सर्कल मिलेगा. तो by the time I add up every element's shadow, you will get the entire circle. Very nice. So integral dA cos theta is going to actually be the entire projected addition of the entire projected area is going to be the area of the circle. Okay, so this is ultimately going to be P1 pi r square. This is the total projected area of the spherical shell. Again, this is the projected area of the spherical shell. The total projected area of the spherical shell. So this, what we just did, you will not have to do again. But remember this as the technique to find force due to pressure acting on any shape. Okay. In fact, I somewhat did this during fluid mechanics as well. Remember fluid mechanics, I said ki if I have a weird shaped wall and I want to find the force on the wall, I can just consider the force on a straight wall. जो force straight wall पे लगेगा, वही his weird shaped wall पे भी लगेगा. You remember that question we did, which we proved by just a little bit of I think Newton's third law, Newton's first law से prove किया. तो वैसे ही फंडा हो रहा है यहाँ पे. If I want to find the force, quarter cylinder वाला question. If I want to find the force due to pressure P1 on, yes, Deven, please do so. If you want to find the force on due to pressure P1 on this hemispherical surface, you can just find the force on the corresponding straight surface. The corresponding straight surface for a hemisphere is a circle. So the formula is P1 into pi r square. Okay. And with this, we are ready to finish our derivation. So just maybe you can copy this. तो उसी तरह P2 के लिए वापस मेहनत से डिराइव नहीं करेंगे. क्या आएगा, क्या लगता है P2 के कारण फोर्स? What will that add up to? P2 pi r square. Very nice. Good. Okay. So maybe I'll just finish the derivation, then I'll show you that page again to copy. एक बार derivation finish कर लेता हूँ. So I'll just wrap that up. तो यहाँ पे अब क्या हो रहा है? P1 के कारण, अब लॉन्ग स्टोरी शॉर्ट, P1 के कारण यहाँ पे P1 पाई आर स्क्वायर हमेशा लगेगा. P2 के कारण अंदर से बाहर की तरफ P2 पाई आर स्क्वायर लगेगा. Remember our element is that hemispherical shell. So these two forces are acting. On top of that, what is really acting is my surface tension. Okay. So my surface tension is going to apply some kind of force. So the other force that is acting is force due to surface tension. And force due to surface tension, ये कौन लगा रहा है? This is the other hemisphere. The left wala hemisphere is applying on the right wala hemisphere. So force due to surface tension by the left half on the right half. ये कितना होगा? Can you help me out with this? If you have understood surface tension today, what is the force by the left half? The formula is S into L. Now, what is behaving as L? What is that line of contact? Some of you are saying 2R. 2R is the diameter. है ना? Diameter तो liquid के अंदर है. Surface पे क्या है? What is the way the green surface is linked to the left surface? Only through the circumference. The circumference is the line of contact. So the circumference is the line of contact. So it's going to be S into that circumference. Okay? Circumference. Matlab, this force is going to be S into 2 pi r. And it's a pulling force. It's like a stretch sheet. So it's a pulling force. So this force is towards the left. Okay. So I have P1 pi r square towards the left, P2 pi r square towards the right. I also have S into 2 pi r towards the left. So when I club them, left wale forces kya hai? P1 pi r square and S into 2 pi r. And right wala force kya hai? P2 pi r square. तो P1 pi r square plus S into 2 pi r is P2 pi r square. तो pi r square अगर कैंसिल करोगे you get P1 is उल्टा, pi r square वाले टर्म्स अगर कैंसिल करोगे तो P1 plus S into 2 पाई कट गया, r स्क्वायर काटने में एक एक्स्ट्रा r नीचे आ जाएगा, is P2. मतलब P2 is P1 plus 2S by R. 2S by R is the excess pressure inside the water droplet. 2S by R becomes the excess pressure. So basically क्या होता है, whenever you enter a curved surface, a spherical surface, your pressure increases by this value. Whenever you cross a spherical surface, whenever you enter through a spherical surface, बाहर से अंदर जाओगे तो प्रेशर इतना अमाउंट से बढ़ेगा. ये कुछ नहीं है, ये डायरेक्शन था. Whenever you cross a spherical surface, pressure will increase to this amount. All right. Yeah, we're done. I'll stop over here. I already have messaged informed Pace to schedule 2 lectures per week from next week. So they'll do something about that. Any doubt in what I've done? यहाँ पे हाँ, you can read up the HCV as well. You'll, I think he'll have a better diagram. Okay? In fact, we'll of course do this in the next class. But if I soap bubble, no, you'll find कि soap bubble में, हाँ, तो soap bubble में दो surface होता है. So this is what one of you was saying earlier. Next class में बता दूंगा, but you can check for yourself. Soap bubble will have two surfaces. Because soap bubble में बाहर air होता है, बीच में soap होएगा और अंदर वापस air होता है. So because it has two surfaces, as you enter through the first surface, pressure increases by 2S by R. As you enter again through the second surface, pressure again increases by 2S by R. So therefore, अगर यहाँ का pressure P है, यहाँ का pressure P plus 2S by R है, यहाँ का pressure P plus 4S by R होगा. The soap bubble. Yes, guys, we're done for the day. Thank you for being patient. Good night. Bye. Good night. Good night. Take care. Bye. Why is area of hemisphere taken as pi r square and not 2 pi, not 2 pi r square? एक मिनट, I'll allow you to unmute. तो एक बार बता दे why you're saying कि 2 आना चाहिए.
Sir, to consider the curved surface area.
नहीं, elaborate on that more. I have a drop, ठीक है, और मैं बस ड्रॉप का एक पार्ट यानी कि ये शेल, इस शेल का प्रोजेक्टेड एरिया ले रहा हूं. तो वो तो एक शेल का प्रोजेक्टेड एरिया तो बस पाई आर स्क्वायर ही होगा ना.
Sir, I'm asking for the hemisphere. वो other half, sir, P1 area.
In what other half? This other half or this portion?
Mm, No, sir, the other half, hemisphere area.
This portion.
Yes, sir.
हाँ तो देख क्या इधर क्या कर रहे हैं हम लोग. We are applying Newton's laws of motion. We are applying Newton's laws of motion on one hemisphere. Why aren't we applying Newton's laws of motion on both hemispheres at the same time? This guy will become an. Why am I not applying it on the entire sphere? Because that will become an internal force. Moreover, if you applied on the entire sphere, तू जो बोल रहा है ना, वो 2 pi r square नहीं होगा. यहाँ से ये P1 pi r square से पुश करेगा, वहां से वो P1 pi r square इस डायरेक्शन में पुश करेगा. समझ रहा है? तो पूरा स्फीयर जब देखने जाओगे वेक्टोरली तो वो जीरो हो जाता है. दोनों का मिलाओगे ना, वो जीरो हो जाता है. So for all those purposes, we are not considering the equilibrium of the entire sphere, because we'll get 0 equal to 0 and surface tension will not even appear. Okay. What we are considering is only the equilibrium of one of the hemispheres. So as you consider the forces on this hemisphere, there are only 3 things interacting with it. बाहर का medium, अंदर का medium और ये surface. बाहर का मीडियम P1 के थ्रू P1 पायर स्क्वायर लेफ्ट की तरफ लगाता है, अंदर वाला P2 पायर स्क्वायर राइट की तरफ लगाता है, और ये सरफेस सिर्फ सरफेस टेंशन लगा सकता है ना. आई एम नॉट मिसिंग आउट ऑन एनी अदर, आई मीन देयर इज नो अदर फोर्स फॉर दिस curved surface which I am studying, and I'm only studying one curved surface. The minute I take two forces start to cancel out, surface tension becomes an internal force. Okay. So are you now clear what we have done?
Yes, sir, got it.